Would you like to be invested in high-quality companies that make tons of money? Want to collect safe, growing, passive dividend income for decades to come? Interested in knowing about some under-the-radar dividend growth stocks that I've been buying? Then you have to check out today's video.
He is a best-selling author.
30-year-old Jason Fieber has a plan.
This guy retired at only 33 years old.
I don't know if I know too many people that have accomplished something like that.
He's really kind of a guru when it comes to passive income.
Before I get into today's content, please give us a big thumbs up if you find value in our videos. Helps us to get the word out and grow the channel, and I'd really appreciate it. You've probably heard of the household dividend growth stock names plenty of times. These are the blue chip stocks we all know and love. I'm talking about the likes of Apple, Johnson & Johnson, and Pepsi. Why are these stocks talked about so much? Well, it's simple. They've been excellent long-term investments, and they'll almost certainly continue to be excellent long-term investments. However, today I want to switch it up and tell you about two under-the-radar dividend growth stocks that you might not have ever heard of. Neither stock is a household name, and frankly, I don't see a lot of coverage out there on them either. But I think they both merit attention. So much attention, in fact, that I've been buying both of them. Now, patrons have had advance notice of these stock buys. I alerted everyone over at Patreon about these investments as soon as they happened. My positions in these businesses were actually initiated at much lower prices than where they're at today. So if you'd like those timely stock buy alerts, please consider joining us over at Patreon. With all that said, even though I bought these two stocks when they were much cheaper, I still think both stocks look like appealing long-term investments right now. Ready to learn about two under-the-radar gems that I've been buying? Let's dig in. The first under-the-radar dividend growth stock I want to put on your radar is American Tower Corp, stock ticker AMT. American Tower is a real estate investment trust that owns and operates cell towers. This is a unique business that's compelling from three different angles. You get real estate, you get infrastructure, and you get tech. The company supercharges the idea of real estate by building valuable technology on that real estate. The massive 5G buildout you've been hearing all about? Well, that doesn't happen without this company's extremely valuable and necessary cell towers. This isn't your typical slow-growing REIT. American Tower is growing at an impressive rate. Revenue has almost quadrupled over the last decade. Their most recent quarter showed adjusted funds from operations growth of almost 9% year over year. They're guiding for similar adjusted funds from operations growth for this coming fiscal year. And the dividend, which has been increased for 11 consecutive years, has a 5-year dividend growth rate of 19.1%, which is astounding. That higher growth rate does come at the expense of yield though. The stock only yields about 2% here, but this isn't an income play, it's a long-term compounder. The stock is compounded at an annual rate of almost 20% over the last decade, turning a $1,000 investment into almost $6,000. I alerted everyone over at Patreon about this stock when I initiated my position at around $200 a share back in early March. It's now over $250 a share, so it's up more than 20% since I bought in. However, I have averaged up on this name and bought more since early March, and I still think it's a compelling long-term investment that'll do very well over the long run. It's not cheap with a price to adjusted funds from operations ratio of almost 30, but long-term compounders like this shouldn't be cheap. You get what you pay for. The second under-the-radar gem I want to tell you about is Fidelity National Financial Inc., stock ticker FNF. Fidelity National Financial is the largest title insurance company in America. Just think about it for a second. All those houses selling like hotcakes? Guess what they all have? You guessed it, title insurance. It's something that every bank requires in order to protect both the lender and the buyer. And since claims are rare, the company is able to build up a float. It's a free cash flow machine. Fidelity National Financial is just quietly growing and compounding for its shareholders. Revenue has more than doubled over the last decade. Earnings per share increased from $1.65 to $4.99 over that period, which is a compound annual growth rate of over 13%. The dividend has increased for 9 consecutive years with a 5-year dividend growth rate of 16.5%. And the financial position here is excellent. This stock has compounded at an annual rate of almost 22% over the last decade, turning a $1,000 investment into more than $7,000. What's not to like about this business? I don't know. That's why I initiated my position in the company at less than $41 a share in late March. I alerted all of my patrons about this trade when it occurred. However, I have averaged up on the stock multiple times since then. That's because I think even after a 10% run since I bought in, it's still attractively valued. The stock trades hands for a price-to-earnings ratio below 10, and it offers a yield of over 3%. In a sea of expensive stocks, I see this as an underfollowed, underappreciated, and undervalued gem that I've already told patrons about, and now I'm telling all of you about it. Take a look at this name if you haven't already. These 2 stocks are only 2 of many stocks I've been buying and alerting patrons all about, but I thought these 2 names merited their own video due to the lack of attention they're usually afforded. Thanks so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed today's video. Give us a like if you did, and let us know what you think about these 2 under-the-radar dividend growth stocks. Please make sure to subscribe to the channel and ring that notification bell so that you don't miss out on new content. Also, take a look at the description box below for some important links, including a link to my personal stock portfolio. This 6-figure portfolio, which I call the Fire Fund, generates enough passive dividend income for me to live off of. It allowed me to retire in my early 30s. I've made my portfolio entirely accessible over a Patreon, and I also post alerts there whenever I buy or sell a stock. I put my money where my mouth is, and I'm often invested in the same high-quality dividend growth stocks that I make videos on. Over the years, I've heard from thousands of investors who have been profiting from many of the same exact stocks that I own. So if you think this is something that you could benefit from as well, check the link in the description to see my portfolio and start getting my buy and sell alerts. I'll see you next time.